What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Inside the Horseshoe. My name is Matt, and how big will the Colts' upcoming extensions be? We know you got to pay Braden Smith, Darius Leonard, Quentin Nelson, and Naheem Hines. I'm going to give my thoughts on what I expect them to get paid, but before I do, if you're new, please click that subscribe button. It would help a lot if you do so. Also, click the bell icon so you're notified when a video goes up, as well as when we go live on here. If you like this video, smack the like button. Let me know in the comments below on your thoughts on what you expect the players to get paid. So, there's a reason why we've seen Chris Ballard hold off when it comes to paying players big money. Now, there is the occasional, like DeForest Buckner, where they paid him big money because he deserved it, okay? He was the second best, I would say defensive lineman next to Aaron Donald. So he deserved to get the payday that he got. So Ballard doesn't normally do it with other players that they were bringing in and whatnot. However, the reason why he wasn't is because he's wanting to pay the big players that they draft. Your Jonathan Taylors, Michael Pittman, if he ends up being what they want him to be. Darius Leonard, Quentin Nelson, Braden Smith, those guys. This is what he's saving the money for. And I'm going to give my thoughts on what I expect him to get paid. And the first guy I want to talk about is the guy who I expect to be signed before anybody else, and that is Darius Leonard. I'm going to get into Darius Leonard's real quick, and I want to go by based off of what, linebackers are being paid in the NFL this season. So I'm going to share the screen I have right here. It's right here. So as we see, this is on azcentral.com. Check them out. The highest paid linebackers in the NFL average salary per year is Bobby Wagner, number one at $18 million. That's the number we got to pay attention to. I know a lot of people were saying, we expect Darius Leonard to get paid about $18 million. It would tie pretty much what Bobby Wagner's getting paid, but Darius Leonard wants to be paid more. If he was fine with it, a deal would have been done by now. However, I think they're working on something, and I expect him to get paid more than $18 million. I was really thinking about it earlier yesterday, how much I think he's going to get paid, because he's going to get paid a lot of money. And to me, looking at what Bobby Wagner is getting paid, I think you got to add at least a couple million to what Darius Leonard gets paid, maybe $1 million if you're lucky, $2 million, something like that. So for me, when I look at Darius Leonard and the productivity that he provides to this defense, and that's exactly what the agent's going to bring up, his productivity. He has been amazing. Our defense definitely is wounded without him, like severely. I think the only other guy that would make as much of an impact as we saw in the Tennessee game is DeForest Buckner. No DeForest Buckner completely ruined our defense. I think the same with Darius Leonard. So for me, looking at what Bobby Wagner is getting paid and just the numbers that Darius Leonard has had his first 3 seasons, which he is on his way to being more than a Hall of Fame linebacker so far if he keeps going the way he is, and I truly believe he will. I'm expecting Darius Leonard to get paid $21 million a year. And I think that's what the average salary is going to be. Now, if a lot of that money is going to go to, like your guarantee money or whatever, trying to lower that cap, maybe they do that. But I believe $21 million a year is what we should expect Darius Leonard to get paid. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less, but he's going to get paid a few extra $1 million more just because of what numbers he puts out there, how important he is to that defense. He's the leader of the defense. He is the quarterback of that defense. Without him, the defense wouldn't be nearly as good. Chris Ballard knows how important he is, and Chris Ballard will be willing to give a little extra than what he wants to, I believe, to a guy like Darius Leonard. So expect somewhere around $21 million. It's a little high compared to what some people think. It might be lower than what other people think. But just looking at what Bobby Wagner is getting paid right now, it's going to be $21 million. However, they got to get a deal done as soon as possible because Fred Warner is on, he's on his way to getting his contract. And one of these two are going to set the market. It's either going to be Darius Leonard or Fred Warner. If Fred Warner is paid first, expect that number to go up a little higher, maybe 22, 23 million, but it really depends what the 49ers pay Warner. But look, we got to hope that a deal gets done, maybe today, tomorrow, something. We got to get something done. That way we can bring Darius Leonard here, keep him here for another 4 to 5 seasons, at least until the next contract comes up, and extend him even more. The guy's too important. So the next guy I'm going to talk about today is the guy I believe that will be signed next, and that is going to be Braden Smith. Braden Smith, I believe, will be the next man up. I expect him to be signed shortly after Darius Leonard. Heck, he could be signed before Darius Leonard. It really depends on where the contract situation is for both players. I know there's negotiations going on for both guys. So I do expect Darius to be done first because you got to get him done. And then I expect Braden Smith to be done second. So we're going to look at what right tackles are being paid right now in the NFL. The highest paid right tackle, I believe, is Lane. Yeah, it's Lane Johnson, $18 million. Highest paid right tackle. Now, do I believe that Braden Smith is going to get paid that much? No. I'm thinking he's going to get paid more around Jack Conklin and Taylor Moton, that 14, 13. But I do expect it to be more than those guys. So for me, I've seen a lot of people throw up 15 million. I do tend to agree with that. I think 15 million is what we can expect from him because of how good he was this past season. If he wasn't as good as what he was, I don't think that number would be quite as high because he didn't start off the greatest. He did have some issues. He did struggle at times. He wasn't perfect, but we got to remember, and JDW did point this out. I watched his video, and this is a really, really good point. I want to bring it up too, because I 100% agree with this, and it's just fact. He went from right guard to right tackle, I believe. He completely switched positions either way. So when you switch positions, especially in the NFL, it's going to take you a little bit. Now I believe Braden Smith is where we want him to be as a right tackle, and there's a reason why he's considered one of the most underrated right tackles, to me anyway, in the NFL. I think he's getting a little more respect on like ESPN and Fox Sports 1 and all that, but he needs more respect. This guy is awesome, and I think he's going to have an even better year this season, and he will make the Pro Bowl, because if he doesn't, I will go to the NFL. I will walk over to whoever counts all the voting, and I'll say, hey, you need to change the voting just a little bit and put Braden Smith in because this man deserves it. Okay, you're going to put Evan Ingram in there. You put in Braden Smith. He deserves it. Okay, two different positions, I know, but still, you're going to put Evan Ingram in there, fans. Come on, you got to put Braden Smith in there. This guy's awesome. He just doesn't have the name recognition like a Quentin Nelson does. But for me, I'm expecting him to get paid about $15 million. I think the prediction of 15 million is on point, though. I think 15 million, expect like a 4-year deal. And then, if he performs as well as he did last season for those 4 years, expect him to be paid in that $18 to $20 million. He will be the highest paid right tackle if he continues to do what he's been doing this past season. So that's where I'm expecting him. The next guy I'm going to talk about, who I believe will be signed next, it won't be right away. I think they're going to want to get, Darius Leonard and Braden Smith out of the way first before they go to these next two guys. But I do believe the next guy up to be signed, and heck, he could be signed first, is going to be Nyheim Hines. Nyheim Hines wants to stay in Indianapolis. That is obviously very important. That helps Indianapolis, I think, when it comes to their negotiations, because whenever you say, I want to stay on a team, that team goes, well, you want to stay here and you want to build a legacy. So, here's a little less than what we were going to give you initially. I don't think it's going to be the case because Ballard loves Nyheim Hines. This entire team and organization loves him. The fans love him. I think they realize, just like T.Y. Hilton, you got to bring back Nyheim Hines. And if you don't bring him back, the world will burn in Indianapolis. So please bring him back. And I fully expect him to come back. I am expecting him to get paid. Because he is a dual threat, he's going to get paid more. Because initially, if you were running back number 3 on the team, for this contract, it wouldn't be quite as good. Maybe it'd be a little better because it depends what happens with Marlon Mack. Does Marlon Mack leave or does he stay? Because if he stays, then Nyheim Hines would be running back number 3 if he didn't have that dual threat option. So for me, initially, I would have said something similar to Marlon Mack, $3 million. But with that dual threat ability he provides, where he's a dangerous piece to the passing offense, and he's also a really good running back too with great speed, I'm expecting him to get paid $6 million a year. Might be a little high. Some people might be like, I don't agree with that. I think it's going to be 5 or 4 million. I expect $6 million simply because of what he provides. I think what he provides is super important. I think it would be even more than that. However, because he isn't running back 1 or 2 this season or last season, I guess he was technically because of Marlon Mack, but this season he's not going to be running back 2. He'll be running back 3. I think because of that, that's where the amount of money he would initially get has lowered, and he will get less than what he would have if he was running back 2 or 1. Heck, if he wasn't a dual threat, type of player, he would get less money. But because of what he offers and provides, I do expect him to get paid about $6 million. And look, that's good money, I think, for Naheem Hines. Okay, if you were the number 1 back, you would probably be paid more than any other running back because that's just how the NFL works. You're going to set the market. That's what the agents are trying to do, especially with running backs. But as running back 3, I think $6 million a year for him is more than fair. I think that's something he would be very happy with, and I think that's something Chris Ballard would be more than willing to do because I think he knows Naheem Hines is a very important piece of the offense, but he's not going to be used as much as like Taylor and maybe even Max. So that's why I'm going to go $6 million for him. We'll see if that ends up being the case. And now we go to our final guy, and I think he will be dealt with last. And the reason why I say he's going to be dealt with last is because of the 5th-year option. That is Quentin Nelson. If there was no 5th-year option, a deal would be done by now. I would be shocked if or I would have been shocked if a deal wasn't done, by then. For me, Quentin Nelson, we're gonna have to look at the guard, because for some reason there was no like left guard, right guard situation. It was just guard on this website, Spot Track, which kind of keeps a track. 18 million is the highest number, 18.036, and that's Braden Schreff or whatever. He is the highest paid guard at 18 million. Then he goes to 16 million with Joe Thunley, and then he goes, Brandon Brooks, Zach Martin, yada yada yada. For me, looking at those numbers, expect Quentin Nelson to get paid a decent amount more. Now, I don't think he's going to get paid as much as, some of the highest paid left tackles because left guard doesn't get paid as much as left tackle normally. Guards just make less money. That's just how the NFL works. You can't pay somebody more than a specific amount. It's got to be less than what I think tackles make, if I'm not mistaken, because if there was like no limit on like how much any position makes, I mean, you could see running backs making like 50 million a year or something. I doubt it, but still, it would be something like that. For me, though, I think Quentin Nelson will break 20 million. I am thinking because he is a guard, and it will take a hit just because of that. I believe Quentin Nelson is going to get paid about $22 million. I believe he will be paid higher than Darius Leonard. I believe he will be paid higher than most players, and he will definitely be the highest paid guard in NFL history, I believe, at $22 million a year. Now, the reason why I'm saying $22 million a year, it's a lot of money. For one, look what he has done. As soon as we add Quentin Nelson and Braden Smith to this offensive line, we go from one of, if not the worst offensive line in the NFL to the best offensive line in the NFL. He's an expensive piece, but he is on his way to being considered one of the great left guards that has ever played in the NFL. Might be a little too early for that, but it's year 4. The numbers he's put up, the amount of times he's made the All-Pro team already. He's made it 3 out of 3 years. Pretty impressive. And just the way he plays, it's very difficult to get past him. So for me, I think it's going to be 22 million. I think it's going to be around there. It might be a little high. You might see 20, 21 million. But to me, it's definitely crossing that 20 million mark. I expect 22 million. It's going to set the market. It's going to be absolutely insane. And whenever we have another left guard ready to get that contract, who is another really, really good left guard, he could be making a ton of money because of the whole Quentin Nelson setting the market. So for me personally, that's what I believe. I could be completely wrong and insane with the Quentin Nelson one, but I just got a feeling he's going to get paid that much. He's going to get paid close to what left tackles make, but not quite there. I think they're going to pay him literally as much as they need to. if there's a limit, they're going to hit that limit. So that's where I'm at with those guys. So thank you all for watching. Once again, if you're new, please click that subscribe button, click the bell icon, smack that like button if you like the video, and let me know if you agree with me or if I'm absolutely insane with some of these some of these predictions based on what I believe they're going to get paid. So thank you very much for watching. I've been Matt, bleed blue, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.